Hello everybody and welcome back to New Zealand Mysteries. This is TJ. Today we're looking at the disappearance of a young man, and the family is waiting for answers and waiting for closure. It's been a long time, and we get some words from the family looking for their loved one. This guy isn't an angel, or wasn't an angel. Lots of tattoos, but I don't want that to discriminate. I myself am covered in tattoos all down my arms, all down my legs. I love them. And yeah, please be kind in the comments, because it is likely that the family will be reading them. And of course 0800 555 111, Crimestoppers Anonymous, if you know anything. Quickly, please subscribe or hit the like button, dislike button, and if you hit the notification bell, you just get to say or choose when you get notified of any videos I put out. Now let's look into this case. Very little media on this case. Otago Daily Times in 2015, police seek info on missing Dunedin man. Southern Police are looking for any information on the whereabouts of a Dunedin man who has not been heard from since 2010. And this article is from June 2015. Police say Tim Wallace, at that time 31, was last seen at a fish and chip shop on Hillside Road in Dunedin at 6 p.m. on August the 6th, 2010. His bank accounts have not been touched since, and police believe either he is actively avoiding being found or has possibly fallen victim to foul play. And when we hear from his brother, we'll understand that, you know, they don't think he's avoiding being found, that's for sure. Mr. Wallace, who is often in and out of contact with his family, was only recently reported missing by his brother after the family could not contact him to inform him of a family death. Constable McGuigan of Dunedin said Mr. Wallace had previously made the comments he was considering disappearing to the North Island, and I will show you a map shortly. Mr. Wallace is described as 185 centimetres tall, of thin build with brown hair. He has a number of distinct tattoos, including a pentagram on the back of his left hand, graffiti-style writing on his neck, and a tiger on his right cheek. I would love to get a tiger one, but I'm not going to get any on my face. Just a place that I wouldn't go to, but you know. Police would like to hear from anyone who knows about his movements in August 2010, or asked Mr. Wallace himself to get in touch so his family might know he is alright. But we learn that that hasn't happened. Again, information here I'll put in the description box below. Like I said, very limited amount of information to go by. So looking at this stuff from 2016, just going over the details. He was last seen at the Dunedin fish shop on August 6, 2010. His bank accounts have been untouched since that night, more than 6 years ago. Police issued a plea over his disappearance a year ago, but nothing has come to anything. A police spokesman confirmed the matter had been referred to the coroner, as all lines of inquiries have been exhausted. However, if we do receive any new information, police will continue to make inquiries. So again, they were saying that someone said he was considering going to the North Island, but we don't know about that. Going over the information about his tattoos, and this seems to be the only photo that they get from him for the media. Now, I'm just going to go to stuff.co.nz, and this is many years ago when his son was very little, and it just said that Josiah Wheeler Lees doesn't know his father. He was barely 1 month old when he disappeared. At this time he was 6 and old enough to ask questions, and his mum has to tell him he's been missing since you were a baby. Very sad, but she says it's really hard to tell that to a 6-year-old. This lady, the mum of his son, said she last saw Wallace several days before that when she dropped him off at the house where he was staying. They had just broken up. She thought he was just running away, so didn't think much of it. He's been in and out of jail for weapons and burglary offences and lived a pretty unsettled life, and he's the sort of person that used to disappear a lot, always coming and going. Last year, police said that Wallace had spoken about disappearing to the North Island because he'd said he had family there. Now, an episode of Police 10-7 did cover this, but I cannot find any information about that. Now, the police said that he saw an ex-girlfriend in Rotorua, and that was the last sighting of him. He was going to Auckland, then Whangarei, and he never got there. So that's a bit different, as we heard from the Dunedin Fish and Chip Shop. I'm not sure whether this is true sighting, but I've heard from his brother that after the Hillside Road shop in Dunedin, the fish and chip shop, his bank accounts were not used. So let's go and have a listen to what the family have to say. Tim's son said that he looks at pictures of his father all the time and that wishes that he could see and meet his dad. Very, very sad. Of course, he's much older now, and he knows that his father's disappeared. Now, this is his brother, Christopher, who's actually given a bit of a statement I'm going to read out shortly. He talked to nzherald.co.nz just the end of last year. The pain never goes away. 10 years since Timothy Wallace vanished. Christmas never gets easier for Christopher Lees. It has been a decade since his younger brother, Timothy Wallace, 26, vanished. He was last seen in August 2010 in Dunedin. After 6 years and no sightings, he was declared dead by the coroner in 2016. He has never been located and his cause of death remains unknown. After a decade of pain, all his family wanted was closure, Lees said. 10 years is a long time. We've suffered for years and years trying to find him. It's the not knowing that's the hardest part. A missing persons report was filed in 2015 after he was unable to contact his brother about a death in the family, and a subsequent police investigation was unsuccessful. He says, I honestly don't know what happened. We never got any information about it. He did have some stuff going on. He was quite transient. He moved around a lot. He loved hitchhiking across the country, but you could always eventually find him. After the birth of his son, Christchurch, in 2008, Wallace visited. It was the last time Lees saw his brother. We grew up in different homes, he said, but as we grew up, we saw each other more often. Wallace had two sons, a 10-year-old and an 18-year-old. They both had questions about what happened to their dad. Timmy's got two kids who just want to know where their dad is or what happened. His last photo was taken with his son, who was born a few weeks before he went missing. Christmas isn't the same, wondering where he is. The family still celebrated his birthday each February. Tim Wallace was the 23rd of February. Lee said he struggled to live with regrets when it came to his brother. He said there was so much we needed to talk about and I'll never get to say those things. The pain never really goes away. We all just feel so powerless. A police investigation in 2015 was unable to find evidence he was alive and the case was referred to the coroner. A coroner's report released in 2016 ruled, based on evidence, that the 26-year-old had died, but the cause of his death remained unknown. It said he was last seen on August 6, 2010, did not have a passport, and despite having a transient lifestyle, had not been in touch with people who had expected to hear from him since then. Lees encouraged anyone with information to contact the police. So a few different pictures here of Tim, and he definitely has a few different sort of faces, whether or not he's got facial hair or not. I spoke to his brother, Christopher. He said, Timmy is a much loved member of our family. He has three brothers, Anthony, Chris and Bjorn, and 4 sisters, Kylie, Karen, Janine and Renee. So you can imagine how many nieces and nephews Timmy has got that all miss him. We want any info on his whereabouts, knowing that he is more than likely passed away by some manner, unknown at this point. We want Timmy returned to us so our family can have some resemblance of closure. Timmy would be 37 soon, yet another birthday gone by without him here. We all miss you, Timmy. Tim's birthday, like I said, is on the 23rd of February this month. So I asked just to clarify when he was last seen, and he says he was last seen on Hillside Road at the takeaway shop 6th of August 2010. From there, none of his accounts were ever touched again. Like, it wasn't unusual for Timmy to disappear for a while, with either hitching around the country or landing himself in prison. But for him to be gone for this long, when we had so many deaths and births within our family, and for Timmy not to show up or even make contact, isn't like him at all. We have tried searching for any signs that he's still here amongst us, living but to this day no one knows anything. But someone out there, I reckon, knows what happened to Timmy. Old bridges sometimes burn and loyalties change. So if anyone out there has any info, please do the right thing and tell the police and bring our family some much needed closure. And you know, that really makes my heart melt when I hear family members talking about how much they miss them. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this story, Tim Wallace's story, and also his family's story. And if you know anything, please call Crimestoppers 0800 555 111. You can remain anonymous. You may be the one that makes a difference, who could offer these families some answers and maybe a sense of closure or peace. Thanks very much, guys.